Hello, everyone. I want to thank you for checking out this video. My name is Miguel Lebron, and I am the founder and coach here for Miguel Lebron Coaching. Strategic coaching and leadership training is what we focus on. I understand that oftentimes we have a vision, a desire, a goal of what we may want to accomplish, but find difficulty in doing so. And well, that's where Miguel Lebron Coaching comes in. We help you accomplish that goal, come up with a strategy that will actually bring forth a breakthrough. But today I want to talk to you about the necessity of stealing attention. That's right. I understand and I know that most likely, as I was taught, you were taught that stealing is bad. But the truth is that everything around us is trying to grab our attention, from our friends that wants to talk to us, to that ad that runs in between the YouTube channel you're trying to watch, to the Netflix that you're trying to watch, and it may even present to you all the top 10, right? All these little things, the signs of stores that may be 3 miles away if you're traveling on the highway, all these little things are trying to grab our attention. And now you and I, we have to wrestle with this. We have to wrestle with the fact that the individuals whose attention we're trying to grab, well, we have to steal it. The fact of the matter is that most of us, all of us, have a cell phone, a smartphone. And if you do, well, our cell phone, our phones have become our TV, our radio, our calendar. And of course, we still receive phone calls and messages. And now the question is, how do we battle against all these things as we're trying to get a foothold into the niche that we want to serve, as we're trying to reach out to the audience? The fact of the matter is, how can we? We have to wrestle with everything else that's going on, and we have to wrestle with that little guy, the cell phone. The fact of the matter is that you and I, we have to then be able to do something. We have to be, well, like the middle child. I myself am married and we have 3 daughters. My wife and I, we have 3 daughters together, and it's a beautiful thing to have a family. It's a beautiful thing to have children. And if you have children, you know this, that the middle child is rambunctious, the middle child is daring, the middle child has no fear, and the middle child is always looking for attention. You see, the fact of the matter is that our oldest child has already attention. In fact, it's because they have like a built-in security blanket. They've been around already. They've been with us maybe for a year, 2 years before the other child came around. And of course, something happened where that second child, without any warning or little to no warning, became the middle child. So now the middle child has to wrestle with the reality that, okay, I'm no longer the number 2. Now I'm in the middle of this. And what we'll see oftentimes, I've seen this with my children, I'm sure you've seen it with yours, if you have any, or maybe with your nieces and nephew, where the middle child, what they'll do is that they'll make themselves available only to steal attention. If you need help with the little one, they'll come and help you. If you need help doing something around, they'll come and help you. Where the oldest may not be so willing, the middle child is. Why? Well, because the middle child is trying to do something that you and I need to do, and that is that we have to steal attention. And so this is where I would like to present to you this acronym, BEST. Of course, it spells out the word best, but I want you to think about it as an acronym. Each letter has a significance here for us as we try to steal attention, as we try to take attention simply for ourselves. No, as we're going to today discuss, it's for actually a bigger cause. In fact, it must be for a bigger cause. It cannot be that I want attention only to be famous or only for financial gain. That can't be it. There has to be more. So if the word best is an acronym, well, let's break it down. First letter in the word best is B, and the B here stands for build. And it's precisely what we need to do. Build it. Oftentimes we're waiting for somebody to call us up, like if we're in the small leagues, right? If you're playing in the little leagues or in the minor leagues, you're waiting for that call up. But here's the thing, you and I, we've got to build a platform in which we can spread the message easily. That message that you understand you want to communicate to the audience, you've got to first start building that platform. Build the platform. There's a movie where there's a famous line where, and I'm sure that when I say this line, you're going to remember this movie where he says, if you build it, they will come. The truth is, they're not going to come if you build it. If a tree falls in the forest, does it make a sound? Well, yeah, but who cares? Nobody was there to witness it. And the fact of the matter is that we wrestle with attention, getting attention and giving attention. We wrestle with this. And how could we then provide service if nobody knows we're around? Well, the first thing is we build it. How can we build it? Here's a couple of things to think about. Number one, you most likely have a Facebook profile. And if you don't have a Facebook profile, you're probably using WhatsApp, Instagram, Messenger. In fact, 3.45 billion people are using Instagram. This is only the numbers of the first quarter of 2021. 3.45 billion people. That's right, not million. I said billion people are either using Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, or Messenger, according to the first quarter reports that Facebook provided. So how about you go live on Facebook or you go live on Instagram? In fact, if you were to go live on Instagram, after you're done allows you to download that video to your device. So here you go live on Instagram, you download this video to your device, and then you can take that same video and upload it to your Facebook profile. You've now gone ahead and repurposed that video. But wait a minute, because you can take that very same video and you can extract, you can take out the audio and turn the audio into a podcast. Wait a minute, there's more. You can take the words that you're saying in this audio and you can then turn it into a blog. But wait, because there's more. You can then take it and break it into little clips or even upload it to YouTube. So what I want you to think about is that you can actually start building right now. There's no need to wait for someone to invite you. And again, this is all with that same video, that one video. And you could even, you may be thinking, well, how do I start a blog? Well, you could even start your blog for free. For free. Because there are places such as Medium or Google Blogs where you can actually create a blog spot for yourself for free at no cost, no cost whatsoever. And even if you wanted to, you could just let it sit on Facebook or Instagram and still reach roughly 3.45 billion people. Instead of waiting for someone to come invite you, build it. Build it. Now, that's just the first letter in the word B, B-E-S-T. The second letter is E, and this is excellence. Oftentimes, what limits us is the fact that we're comparing ourselves to other people. What other people can do, what other people are doing, how they do things, how they sound when they're doing it. We're always comparing ourselves. We need to get out of that habit of comparing ourselves. Understand this, excellence is obtained through experience. Excellence is obtained through experience. We can have all of the ideas, all of the theories, all of the hypotheses of what could and be and should, but eventually, it's going to be put up or shut up time. Eventually, you're going to have to put it to work. And what happens is that as you're working, you begin to actually see talents, tools, tactics that you didn't even know we had, that you didn't even know existed, that you didn't even know you had. Think about this. You can put the best baseball player ready to swing a home run, the best, maybe Babe Ruth, right? You can put him up, he can sign to you where he's throwing the ball, but if he's nervous, if he's worried, if his energy is not in line with what he wants to do, then his abilities haven't gone away. It's just a mental block, a roadblock that's in the way. And oftentimes, us comparing ourselves is exactly that. We should not compare ourselves to others and how they do it. This is why in this acronym of the word BEST, BEST, E is excellence. Excellence here. It is important that we observe how we are doing things and that we would do it to the best of our abilities. Remember this. Authenticity helps people see you as an authority. I'll say it again. Authenticity helps people see you as an authority. And so copying someone else isn't going to help you. You may be able to watch or listen or be able to see or gather information from how someone else is doing it, but you don't want to copy them. You don't want to sound like them because you have your own voice. And there are people that are only going to get the message when you say it. Moving along here with this word BEST, we arrive to the S, and S stands for service. When we start building, we have to know why we are doing so. What is the motive behind the video? What is the motive behind the blog, the podcast, or whatever you're doing, whatever you're building? The motive cannot be money. As I mentioned before, it cannot be money and it cannot be fame, because money and fame are only a fuel and not a destination. They'll help you get to where you need to get to, but they're actually not a place you can get to. If you have money as your destination, you're not going to get anywhere. People are going to be able to see that you're not being authentic. People are going to be able to see that you're not being true to your words, that you have ulterior motives. And as an old quote says, you can fool some of the people some of the time, but you can't fool all the people all the time. Authenticity helps people see you as an authority. And so this is service, 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 service. But of course, as we arrive to the last letter of this acronym BEST, in order for us to be able to build and execute excellently, we must know who our target audience is and how we intend on serving them. And this is why in this acronym of BEST, the T stands for target audience. Who are you trying to reach? Who are you trying to serve? In order for you to do your best, in order for you to provide excellent service, you have to know who it is that you're servicing, why, what's the game plan here, what are we trying to accomplish? Everything is already taking people's attention. We don't want to rob anyone's attention with regards to the audience that we are trying to target to. We want to try to provide service. We want to provide it excellently. We want to give value. And when we give undeniable value, we become undeniable. When we give undeniable value, we become undeniable. No one can then say no because we are giving undeniable value. But this is just an acronym as we think about how do we steal attention. Well, it starts with this acronym of BEST: build, excellence, service, target audience. But we're still kind of missing something here, right? I mean, sure, we understand this concept, but the question is, how can we serve them if they don't know who we are, if we don't have their attention? And the thing that you have to do is steal it. Well, how do we steal it? How can we steal this attention? How can we take this attention? We obviously learn from the middle child, but here's how we start. We first start by building. We aren't waiting for someone to invite us, because they aren't going to invite us if they don't notice us. And they aren't going to notice us if we're not working, if we are not moving. several years ago. In fact, over 10 years ago now, we started a nonprofit organization, which is TQP Ministries. TQP Ministries is actually a Spanish word. These letters means actually something, and it is todavía queda poder, which is there still is power. The focus of this organization is simply to help those who want to preach the gospel. It's to empower those who want to preach the gospel so that everyone may know that there is still power. And I'm not trying to preach to you. I want to simply present to you this reality. You could find more information about this organization at miguellebron.com. But here's why I am bringing this up is because of the fact that as we began this organization, not a lot of people knew me. Sure, I was known in some circles, but a lot of people didn't know me. So what I had to do was go out and build it. So the first thing after we named it, after we had a mission, after we had a vision, we then began to build an infrastructure, meaning I got with individuals that I knew understood the vision, understood what we were trying to accomplish. And so we got together. And the next thing was that we didn't wait for someone to invite us and help us build an agenda. We started building an agenda. I started reaching out to different leaders in different communities. And I simply said, can I use your facility? That's it. Can I use your facility for what? For an event, 1 night, 2 hours. That's it. Let me build something here. And they would say yes. In fact, most times they would say yes. And what happened was that we kept doing this. So to every event we were doing, more people were showing up, more people were saying yes. We weren't waiting for anyone to invite us. We were going ahead and building something. And that's what I mean. Build something, build it, make it. We aren't waiting for someone to invite us because they aren't going to invite us if they don't notice us, and they won't notice us if we aren't working. They aren't going to notice us if we aren't working. They've got to notice you. You've got to start building an audience. This is why it's important to know your target audience, because once you know who you're trying to cater to, you know exactly what it is that they're looking for and what they need. And when you provide undeniable value, you become undeniable. Remember, money cannot be the destination. It's only a fuel. And neither can fame be a destination. It's only a fuel. Both things can help you get to a bigger place. Both things can help you help other people. But again, service is where it's at. It isn't going to be, well, I want to build something that I could get richer. That may be one of the things that are important to you, and that's part of your core values, but that cannot be the destination. How you start stealing attention is that you build it. You build it. Your podcast, your blog, your website, you build a presence, you provide undeniable value, and then you invite them. You invite them. Invite them to your blog. Invite them to your podcast. Invite them to your YouTube channel. Invite them to write a post. Invite them. Invite them to your group. Invite them to whatever it is that you're building. Invite them. Invite someone that is in a position that you would like to be. There are different individuals that I've been able to work with that are in the same sphere, in the same genre, in the same niche as I am with regards to coaching. And we've been able to actually work together. They've actually come on to my blog. And what's happened is that we've been able to build a relationship. And not only have we been able to build a relationship, their audience has become acclimated with what I'm doing. And my audience has also become acclimated to what they're doing. And so you have to be able to invite them. In order to do this, you have to build a beneficial reason for them to go ahead and join you. A value proposition, it's what it's called. You give them a reason to join you. Hey, it's beneficial that you would come onto my blog and create an article. Why? Well, we're catering to the same audience. We can demonstrate unity. My audience is going to follow you. I'm going to share it. And you begin to give these numbers of reasons that hopefully the other individual sees value in it. Of course, you're already providing valuable and undeniable value to your audience. So it's going to become undeniable. People are going to want to work with you. But before they start saying, hey, let me come with you, you may have to just simply invite them. And this is why it's important that we understand who our target audience is and why we're trying to serve them. Because it can't be something where we're trying to serve an audience to show the other people that didn't want to invite us. That's not the way it works. If you have ulterior motives or motives that are not pure, you're not going to get very far. And so I would encourage you that as you're building your podcast, as you're building your brand, building awareness, as you're building your blog, as you're building your YouTube channel, as you're building your presence, now the next step is to invite them. Those who did not invite you, just invite them. It's not hard to send someone a message through Messenger. We already said that 3.45 billion people are on Messenger. What's the worst they could say? No? No is the worst they could say. Listen, no means no opportunity. And if someone says no, that's just an open door for a new opportunity. And this is why we have to remove all of this doubt and look at the possibility. We've already built it. We're now providing undeniable value. Let's go ahead and invite them. Invite your audience on the journey. Invite the other audiences, other people to come on board. And again, we're here trying to steal attention. So invest in the contacts you already have. You may be nervous, fearful, or doubtful that by reaching to other people, they may want to come with you. Okay, no problem. Open up your phone. And I'm sure that in your contact list, you may have 50, 75, 100 people on your phone where you can say, out of these 100, I know someone's going to give me an answer. You know, when I launched my website and I started my blog, I went ahead and I did that. I messaged everybody on my contact list. I said, I'm starting a website. I'm starting a blog. I'd like it if you just head over to the website. Just tell me what you think about the way it looks, the way everything sounds, the way everything feels. Just head over there. Hey, I wrote this blog, check it out. And I have continued to send it to friends and family and people that even in my contact list after several years said, hey, I don't know who's texting me. I said, I don't know who this is. And I would tell them, well, this is Miguel, and this is what I'm doing. It's necessary for you to invest in the contacts, in the relationships you have. After you invite them to your platform, after you invite them to your blog, to your podcast, after you invite them to your YouTube channel, after you've done that, you have to continue to nourish this relationship so that at the next event, they'll be there. They're going to want to be there. As you nourish these relationships, as you make yourself available to these individuals, what happens is they're going to want to be around you. And not only will you be servicing your audience, your target audience, but now you're forging relationships that become bridges to something greater, become gateway to something greater than what you even thought possible. So you have to invest in the contacts you already have and not be afraid to reach out to people you don't know. But if you're nervous, start with the contacts you already have. Be willing to help others. Be willing to help others is number 4 when we think about how to steal attention. I'm sure you thought stealing had a negative connotation before this conversation we're having, but the fact is that here stealing is actually a good thing. Make yourself available to those in your network and to those you're serving. This is going to be something that's going to make you undeniable. Again, this is why your goal cannot be money, cannot be fame, because people are going to be able to weed out what your intentions are. When you watch a movie, when you watch any type of show, any type of form, think about this. They run this movie for 90 minutes, an hour, 2 hours. If it's a Marvel's movie, it runs 3 days. But you're watching this movie. At no point in this movie do they mention the director. They don't mention it beforehand. They don't mention it during. Nobody gives them a shout out. Nobody says this is because of this director. No, the name of the director appears at the end of the credits. And sometimes people don't even stick around for the credits. And yet the director is the one who's bringing everything together. making sure that what is being presented brings high value to those who are engaging with it. You and I, we have to be like the director. You and I, we have to be willing to help others. When you help others, others will help you too. This is part of this method of strengthening relationships, of strengthening the relationship with the contacts you have in your phone, and to those that are they're just waiting to get in your phone. This is also a tactic that we're taking from the middle child, whereas the oldest sometimes doesn't want to help. We expect them to want to help or expect them to be willing, but oftentimes doesn't want to. I know in certain situations, my oldest daughter may not want to do something or may have a little attitude towards it. But you know what? My middle child, she'll be willing. She said, I want to do it because she understands something, that the attention is in the service. And if I'm doing the service, then I'm getting the attention. And so here it is. We want to help others. Again, this is why it can't be money. It can't be fame. It cannot be, because if you're only looking for fame and fortune, you're not going to be willing to help others. You're going to consistently think of what's in it for me. But when you help selflessly, something begins to happen. It's a domino effect. Kindness is a boomerang, my friend. And if you and I can have this tactic, if we can go ahead and be willing to help others, we'll also be stealing attention. But we've got to play the long game. Be careful not to fall into the trap of thinking of right now. And this is something that happens commonly, where we're just so ready for it right now. We think we're in the position right now. Our mindset is ready right now, that we're not thinking about the fact that, well, we have to play the long game. The reason having a goal is necessary is because it helps you focus, and it helps you refocus when the situations in life, the storms in life, the storms in your journey seem to derail you. Everyone is wrestling with the same thing. Everyone is wrestling with the same thing. Something is trying to take their attention. And so the question is, how can I bring value? This is the question you have to ask yourself. Write this question down on a piece of paper. Take a minute, write this down. How can I bring value? How can I make it so that while I have their attention, they don't feel as though I'm wasting their time? These are the two questions we've got to ask ourselves. How can I bring value? And how can I make it so that while I have their attention, they don't feel as though I'm wasting their time? Maybe you've been in the position where in a classroom, a professor, a teacher, a presenter was bringing forth something, and it may have been good information. It just didn't grab your go ahead. What did he say? What did he say? It didn't grab your, that's right. It didn't grab your attention. Something happened. Your mind was just gone somewhere else. You were derailed. You were not there. Physically, you were. I know it's happened to me before. Physically, I was there, but mentally, I'm disconnected. Why? We don't want to be that person that presents something, that speaks, that tries to engage, but misses the mark. And so we have to play the long game. Now, I know what you're thinking, because this is hard. I'm not going to be able to do it. No, you are going to be able to do it. You are going to be able to do it. In fact, what I want you to do is ask yourself this question. If this were easy, what would it look like? Let's break this down. If this were easy, what would it look like? And just do it. The fact of the matter is that the only way we're going to be able to steal attention is when we do our best. And you cannot build something sustainable. You cannot build something sustainable if executing excellent service for our target audience isn't our focus. It cannot be money. It cannot be fame. It cannot be that. We cannot Build something sustainable. This is why you see people that start something and don't finish. They try to quickly get attention. They try to quickly put themselves in a position where they just not ready for that position. And it's okay to understand, you know what? I'm just not there yet. But on the journey, let me keep building. And you put one brick at a time, one post at a time, one blog at a time, one podcast at a time, one audio at a time, one video at a time, one presentation at a time. And eventually it will accrue interest, and something begins to happen is that money will fade away, but sweat equity, it increases in value. We cannot build something sustainable if executing excellent service to our target audience isn't our focus. The way to steal attention is not to imitate. The way to steal attention is to build. And when you're building something, you don't simply start laying down bricks. In fact, what you do is that you ensure that the land that you're going to build on is ready, is clean, is prepared. And then you start digging. You go deep. Because the foundation is not on the surface, it's in the depth. And so this is what I want to encourage you today, my friend, you that have taken the time to listen to this. I want to appreciate you so much for taking the time to listen to this. But what I want to encourage you is this, that we first have to build. We cannot build something sustainable, something that's going to be around forever, if we're not executing excellent service. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for taking the time and engaging with this video. Here's what I'd like for you to do. If you're watching on YouTube, please be sure to hit a like. Please be sure to leave a comment below. And if you're visiting my website, MiguelLebron.com, thank you so much. Please be sure to comment below. Let us know if you enjoyed this content and if you want more of this. And if you're looking for a strategy coach, a strategic coach that can work with you, my name is Miguel Lebron. Please head over to MiguelLebron.com. Schedule a meet today so that you and I can get together and make your dreams, your goals a reality.